What's up, heavy metal listeners? This is Mischief Madness, and you're now in the world of madness. And I'm here hanging out with Johnny Plague. He is a frontman for Winds of Plague, and they are now actually back from their hiatus, and we couldn't be more stoked.
Oh, good. That's awesome. Yeah, we've been gone for a couple years, and couldn't be happier to be back.
Definitely. So, in a nutshell, what was the reason for that hiatus, and what did you guys do in the meantime?
Oh man, life. Life was the reason for that hiatus. We'd been doing the band about 10 years touring, and we all kind of started to do our own things on the side. I do a lot of set design for theme parks and haunted houses and fun stuff, and a couple of the other guys doing like real estate, and I had a baby, so
congratulations.
Thank you. I wanted to spend time just kind of grounding myself with my life, and bought a house and did all that kind of fun stuff. But during that time, after being on stage for such a long time, you really start to miss it, and you miss traveling and meeting all these awesome people and getting to know people and hanging out, and we decided, hey, let's give it another shot.
Awesome. So, you guys announced that you guys were probably going to get back together on a Suicide Silence show, correct?
Correct, yeah. We that kind of actually got the whole ball rolling. They just asked us to play this benefit show, and I figured that was a really good excuse to come together and get back together for this really good cause.
Nice. 2013, you released Resistance, and that was your fourth studio album, and it was produced by Will Putney, and he's worked with bands like Thy Art Is Murder and Straight From The Past, really good bands. So how was it working with him?
Will's awesome. He's been a friend of the band for a really long time, and we kind of have watched his career grow as ours did as well. So it was kind of cool that at this peak of both of our careers, we were able to come together and write and record this record with him. He came out to California. We kind of built this home studio and did the whole thing ourselves with him. We were writing lyrics in the hot tub, just hanging out. It was a good time putting that record together with him.
Nice. See, I thought that record should have scored higher on the Billboard charts. I really did. I was disappointed, and I blame, it got mixed reviews and stuff, but I thought it was a great album, and I think it has to do a lot with pre-sales too. A lot of the time, I hear bands complaining that they're not getting enough pre-sales, or it's not being pushed enough, and then of course it's going to do bad on the billboards, and of course it's going to get in turn people are going to think oh, it must be a shitty album, but it's not. It's just just kind of the way it happened, right?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of factors that come into play with the record sales, and I think it goes way beyond just a good or bad record. I think it has a lot to do with the setup and the record label, and I don't want to say anything bad about whatever. I think there was things on our end that we didn't do correctly, and I think there's things on the record label end that didn't do correctly, but in my opinion, out of all four records, that had probably the weakest setup of all the records that we've done.
But now you're with E1 / Good Fight Records, or Good Fight Music, so that's fucking awesome. Tell me about that.
So this time around with the band, I learned a lot of lessons the hard way when it comes to the business side of it. So this time I've just decided to surround myself with people that I not only am friends with, but I can trust with everything. And Carl from E1 is one of those guys that I can talk to, have a down-to-earth, normal conversation. We can call each other day or night, it doesn't matter. We don't even have to talk about music. So not only is it a great record label, but it's something that, it's a very positive work environment that I'm really excited to be a part of.
Awesome. So since the release of Resistance, you guys have had some time to grow and evolve as people and as musicians. So tell me, how do you guys feel now? How do you feel you've evolved since 2013?
Oh man, we definitely have done a lot of growing up over the couple of years. I think at the end of those 10 years of touring, everybody's a little burnt out, and so it's kind of nice to get that break, like I said, get grounded and come back to approach the band differently. And I think this time we're approaching it less about business and worrying about merch numbers and how many people come to the shows. We're just out here because we love it, and it's something that we just want to do, and we're just gonna have a good time, whether there's 10 people or 1,000 people, it doesn't matter. And I think that mindset just has made this whole experience so much better than where we left off.
Awesome. So tell me about your three newest members. You guys came up with almost a completely new lineup. You got you, and you have Art, who came back on drums, which is great. So, there's three completely new members. So tell us about them.
Like I said, when we kind of settled down, we all kind of did our own things at home, and there's a couple of the guys that are in a position where they can't do the band anymore. They just have other things going in their lives. So we all kind of just come to the agreement that we were going to go our separate ways, and by that left a void of those 3 people. How did this start? Okay, Michael Montoya, he was the first guy we brought in. He like lived with us for a while and worked in our studio, and he's just a guy that just one of the most genuine people I've ever met. You know, like just a good dude, just stoked to be out here. I've never seen him do anything purposely to hurt anybody. He's just a good dude that I would like to, you know, share this part of my life with. So we brought him in. He knew a guy, which was Davey Oberlin. So we brought Davey in. We're like, hey, we need a bass player. And he's like, I know this guy. So that's how we got Justin. And Justin Bach, I had never even met him until the first show we played. And it's been so great, though. He's another straight edge dude as well, like I am. And we have a lot in common, get along. And these 3 new guys, I think, have brought like a new refreshing approach. And everybody's just excited to be out on the road together.
So everybody wants to know some details about what's next. I mean, we're excited to hear about what's going to happen with this new album. So fill me in.
Let's see, where do we begin? So I think this tour is definitely the starting point for all the madness that is to come. We wanted to just get out, see where we're at, see if people still cared, and every day this tour has been amazing. And a lot of fans are coming out and telling us how much the band means to them, which means a lot in return. With that being said, I think we're going to go home, focus on just writing, not rush it, you know, let it just come, and we're going to slowly be building this new record. That's something I want to do that we've never done before. It's always been like, record has to be done by then. We don't have a release date. So we're just going to kind of just put it together.
I've noticed that when there's a release date where you guys are rushed, it never really comes out. Like, and the fans will appreciate you know, taking your time. Like,
yeah, and it's something like I want to be able to stand behind it and believe in every single song is as best as it possibly can be. And yeah, I can't say that for everything in the past. There's been things when I listen back to it, I'm like, oh man, I wish we had more time to develop this or that. So I want to get rid of that and just make this record as solid and firing on all cylinders as possible. So we'll get that record out, and then we'll be hitting the road more.
Awesome, cool. Yeah. So we're really stoked. So I mean, this is kind of the beginning of the tour right now. You're touring with great support, Rings of Saturn and Enterprise Earth. So we're stoked to have you guys go home, take that break. And any other tours or shows you guys are planning besides this?
There are a couple like one-off shows we're planning that are not solid enough to talk about yet, but there is some more stuff coming up in the works, and hopefully by next year we'll be 100% back.
Radical. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Johnny, for hanging out and, you know, taking your time to fill us in about what Winds of Plague is doing. Is there anything else you would like to tell the fans?
Just thank you guys so much. This band, one thing that I aim with this band is just to create a space where everybody can come, no matter what problems you have going on in your life. You can come, forget them. No matter, you know, what you're about, what your skin color is, doesn't matter. We can all come together and be a part of something, bond over this heavy metal music and stuff. So that's what I want to put out there for people. So come to our shows, hang out, have a good time, stop us, say hello, and in the meantime, you could check us out at windsofplague.net. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. Hit me up on Instagram. I love meeting people and talking to all the fans and stuff. So
awesome.
Yeah.
You rock, Johnny. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Awesome. So this is Mischief Madness. Metalheads, you just heard a one-on-one with Johnny Plague from Winds of Plague. Thank you so much for listening.